Good evening, everyone. This is Engineer Pat 5290 coming to you with the July Q&A response videos. I just would like to say thank you to everyone who participated in this one. A lot of cool questions here. A lot of cool questions here. So let's get right into them. The first set of questions is from Stephen KC Railfan. Good to see you again, buddy. He asked me a small list of questions. Let's get right into them. The Amtrak Surfliner or the Cascade? Cascade. I like the way the train is all put together as one unit. It has an engine on either end. It's really neat. I've always liked the Cascade. Thoughts on the CN Cal locomotives? Not the hugest fan of those, but those are unique locomotives. Do you like or dislike snakes? I've always been scared of snakes. If it's like a black snake, it doesn't bother me, but like a water moccasin, that one bothers me. Thoughts on Walther's mainline locomotives? Walther's mainline is a pretty good starter for some of the model railroads that just want to get started with something basic. It's a really good basic line. Do you prefer steak with fries or mashed potatoes? Time out. Mashed potatoes for the win. Have a steak with mashed potatoes and steamed broccoli. You are in business, buddy. Make sure you have some ice water with that. That's a good one. The Cheesecake Factory or Applebee's. I've had both. Um, I like both just because they're just different. Applebee's is good for their chicken strips and French fries. The Cheesecake Factory is always good for their cheesecake. And that's why I've always gone Cheesecake Factory for that. But I think I went in there for dinner one time before when I was on vacation with the family. Really good restaurant. Had you ever caught the Diversity in Motion AC6000s? I don't think I ever did, but I saw photos of them. They were really interesting. They're real interesting locomotives. Thoughts on the NW 1776? One of my favorite Norfolk and Western diesel locomotives is that 1776. High hood SD45, painted in the red, white, and blue with the circle of stars on the side of the high hood. I love that locomotive. Do you like tunnel shots? They are unique shots because you see the train going out of the tunnel, or even when it's just bending around the curve coming out of the tunnel. It's so neat to watch. Thoughts on molten chocolate lava cakes? Oh, I know those are good, and you're making me hungry right now. But yeah, they sound good. I've had maybe one or two of them before, just little samples, but not much. Favorite James Coffey songs? Oh, I love Toy Trains. Oh, dude, I love the music though. Legends of the Rails, Signal Lights. I love Toy Trains, the theme song for the series. It's so many of them. I just wanted to name a few of them that I like. It's a whole bunch of. This train is another good one as well. So just wanted to name a few of those. The GP60M or the GP480-2W, GP60M. Arby's or Long John Silver's. One name there, Arby's for the win. Classic roast beef sandwich with just an ice cold mellow yellow on the side. I don't even go for the curly fries anymore. I just love the sandwich, or go for their mozzarella sticks. They're really good. Sioux Line or the Wisconsin Central. I liked both of those. Wisconsin Central because it had a really nice looking ST45. The Sioux Line, I always liked the red, the white, and the black scheme. Not so much the candy red apple logo. GP15 or the Jeep 40? Definitely the Jeep 40. The Jeep 40 was a better unit. Conrail or the Southern Pacific? I liked both of those. Southern Pacific was bought by Union Pacific the year I was born, which was 1996. And Union Pacific had bought them, but SP was different because they had the tunnel motors. Conrail was cool because they were started by the government, and that was a very successful railroad. So there are two really good railroads there. Have you ever tried apple cider donuts? No, but I've had apple cinnamon donuts. Leave a little bit of feedback on that if you can. Thoughts on Ferromex? I saw them out west one time on a Boy Scout trip, and that was about it. So I don't really know much about Ferromex, except I believe Union Pacific owns part of them. Have you ever caught a military train? Not a full military train, but I have seen military loads on a train. Last year, as a matter of fact. And favorite school subjects. Oh, this is good. I like this. U.S. government, U.S. history, I liked science because science was always different, especially environmental science. Um, Not so much into chemistry, but I also liked English and improving my writing. There were some of my very favorite subjects. And everybody likes lunch and recess. They're always kids' favorite activities at school. So thank you, Stephen, for your questions. Please come back and ask for more. These are really good questions. King of Love Train comes back in with a small list of questions. Thank you very much. It's good to see you again. Favorite steam locomotives out of the list he's got. I like the 611 is one of my top favorites. The Southern 4501 and the Milwaukee Road 261. I like those three. The next one, it would have to be Frisco 1522. So they're my top four of the 8. Trainman 1993 comes in. Good to see him, Matt. He comes in with a few questions. Do you collect N-scale trains? No, but I do HO, I do O-scale, and I do just a tiny bit of G-scale. N-scale is too small for me. I've always liked HO because you can do a lot with it. O-gauge is pretty good. G-scale is the big stuff. So, what's your favorite rock band? Oh man, I have so many favorite rock bands. Deep Purple, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Boston, Foreigner, things like that, bands like that, excuse me. Because I'm mostly 50s through the 80s, a little bit of 90s, and a little bit of now, and a little bit of country. Favorite drink? I obviously like milk and orange juice, white grape juice, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, depending on the day, Pib Extra, Mountain Dew, Mellow Yellow, things like that. I love it, most any type of drink. Do you like a lot of country? Oh yeah, Brooks and Dunn, Rascal Flatts, George Strait, known as King George, Gretchen Wilson, Carly Pierce, Lauren Elena, and Kelsey Ballerini, just to name a few of them. Do you collect train catalogs? A little bit. I'm more of a Trains magazine guy, but every once in a while I'll find a train catalog that I do collect. And actually, Lionel has a nice one out for their 120-year anniversary. They have some limited edition catalogs. I would definitely pick some of those up, guys. Pick those up at your local hobby store. Just a little thought. So thank you, Matt, for your questions. Guys, please come back and ask for more questions. So, my leg comes in. He's a new guy. Good to see you, buddy. Um, CSX or NS has to be NS. Favorite train horn, RS3L for the Leslie, K5LLA, and P5 for the Nathans. Do you like the new SD70 Tier 4? I have one word for that locomotive. No. I do not like that locomotive. I really think EMD shot themselves in the foot. I really think they did because they messed up the cab design, in my opinion. And if they would have kept the SD70 ACE cab on it, it would have been just fine. But instead, they went back to the SD60IM SD70 Mac cab, which is the pork chop style cab. But I don't particularly care for that, but I do like the SD70 ACCs on Norfolk Southern, which is the pork chop style cab, but with the SD70 ACE nose, which looks a whole lot better. So, thank you, sir, for your questions. Please come back and ask for more. Railfan for Life comes in. Good to see you. I think he's a new guy. Good to see you, buddy. Um, he asked 3 questions. What is something else do you like than trains? Well, first of all, I love photography. I love going out and taking pictures and videos, of course. You know that from my YouTube channel. I also like to do home repairs and woodworking. And I also enjoy being in the outdoors. And I also enjoy driving. Favorite NS Heritage units? I like most of them. I really think Norfolk Southern nailed their Heritage program as well as Union Pacific and Amtrak. So, yeah, those are really good. What are some of the rare museums you haven't visited? Oh man, there's so many I haven't visited. Um, I really don't know which one I really want to go to next. I've done the one in Pennsylvania. I've done the North Carolina Transportation Museum, one of my all-time favorites. Um, the B&O Railroad Museum. I've even done the Wilmington Railroad Museum in North Carolina. That's a really good one as well. One of the ones I've really wanted to do was the Illinois Railroad Museum because that's a really nice museum out that way with a lot of Western equipment like a Union Pacific B40-8s out there, an ST40-2. I believe they have an ST45 Wisconsin Central out there. So that's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to maybe doing someday. But thank you, sir, for your questions. Take username comes in with another list of questions. Good to see you again, buddy. Um, been very busy, but glad I could catch up. Hey, man, it's all right. Do you enjoy parties? Yeah, I like Christmas. I like Christmas parties, around the holidays and birthday parties. Do you typically remember the dreams you have? Not really. Do you like to watch sports in a stadium? Oh, yeah, that's where all the action is. Have you ever been on TV? Oh, man. Oh, boy. I have been interviewed, by news reporters, but I haven't been on live TV. But that's something I may want to look into someday. Have you ever ridden a horse before? Yeah. Thanks to the Boy Scouts. I'm a proud Eagle Scout, and one of the camps I went to was horseback riding. And I learned a lot about horseback riding when I was there. What is the rarest type of truck you've ever seen? Oh man, I've seen a whole lot of trucks. I've seen a whole lot of trucks. One of the rarest I've seen is the 367. There's not many of those out there. And one of the other ones is the T700 and the T2000 for Kenworth. What is the most interesting concept you've ever seen a train hauling? Like something that's out of the ordinary you don't typically see. Well, there's something in one of my latest videos that's going to explain that. I actually got to see some generators that look like a really big container. The video will explain more in that. That's July Along Tidewater Rails Part 3. So tune into that one. You'll see what I mean there. What's the maximum number of questions you'd allow on a Q&A? As mentioned in the rules, I am not limited to that. But the only thing I ask is just to be considerate of others. That's all I really ask. It's good that you ask this. Do you like driving in the rain? Sometimes I do because it's calm and relaxing. What's the fastest train you've ever seen going by? Oh boy, probably 60 or 65 miles an hour. Nothing like 120, but but it's just been regular speed. Have you ever gone skiing? One time through the Boy Scouts. We actually did a skiing trip back in, I think, 2009 is when I went skiing. It's about 10 years ago we went. Aquariums or zoos? Have to go with the aquarium. Do you exercise regularly? Excuse me. Do you prefer cardio or weightlifting? I exercise when I can. I try to do a little bit of mix of everything. Flexibility, cardiovascular endurance, things like that. Have you ever gone fishing? Yeah, thanks to the Boy Scouts. Because as an Eagle Scout and growing up, I did a lot of activities in Boy Scouts like horseback riding, fishing. I did that. I've done a lot of stuff in Boy Scouts, and they're just a couple things I've learned. Do you have a favorite T-shirt? Oh man, I have a lot of T-shirts. Is there something you could give a long presentation on with little to no preparation? Definitely trains. Do you prefer the safety comfort cab, box cabs, or the high nose? They're all different. I like them just because they're different. The high hood is the most unique cab. I like the EMD cab just because it's a standard cab. The wide cabs are nice just because it gives the crew extra room and plus it keeps them safer. It gives them extra room and plus the padding protects them. Can you sleep well in thunderstorms? After just a little bit. And in locomotives, do you like the cowl cab or the high or the hood units? I mostly prefer the high hoods and EMD standard cab locomotives. Wide cabs a little bit too because that's what it is now. So that will be part 1 of July July Q&A responses. Part 2 is underway. So sit tight.